Now on to Blizzard Man. These numbered platforms will tick down and detonate after you step on them. You'll see more of them later. If you want to take a chance at an extra life, use the Flame Blast to take this ice wall out. But you've got to be careful jumping out. The floor on this level is very slippery, so walk slowly and watch your footing when battling out with enemies. Use the Flame Blast again here to get this E-Tank, and then use the power adapter to destroy this block of ice and get an energy capsule if you need it. Then you'll find this submarine that sinks under and rises back up continuously. There are spikes on the ceiling, so don't jump up too high when battling these Sniper Joes. If you slip into this gap to kill the Sniper Joe, you might get caught by the spikes below, so stay on top and use the Night Crush to take him out. There's some energy and an E-Tank behind this ice block. You have to act fast though. As soon as it rises above sea level, break it with the power adapter, change back to regular form, slide your way across, grab the tank, and then head back the same way. Right before the gate are more of these bombs, but they're set up to fuck you over. Be careful on the narrow icy platforms and jump up, brushing against this bomb to get it out of your way. Blizzard Man, the only robot master of all time to operate on skis, attacks in two ways. He rolls across the room quickly, which you'll want to jump over, and he unleashes the Blizzard Attack, which is 4 scattered snowflakes that fall from above in different directions. These had better be the most deadly fucking snowflakes of all time if they're expected to slow down Mega Man. Anyway, avoid the dangerous precipitation and use the Flame Blast when you get a clear shot. Once you finish him off, you'll get the Blizzard Attack, which is a series of 4 snowflakes that appear behind you and shoot forward. They all kind of go where they want to, but at least one always seems to magnify its way toward an enemy. The rapid rate is also pretty piss poor. Now on to Plant Man.
Plant Man knows where the plants will go. Plant Man knows that the plants will grow.
Sorry, I had to put that stupid song in there. Anyway, Plant Man stage has a foresty background and some enemies will pop out of the blue from inside the trees or behind the long blades of grass, so stay alert. You'll encounter this mini boss that spits projectiles at you in a line. He takes quite a few shots with the regular arm cannon, but the Night Crush will make short work of him. These spring things will bounce you around, and if you press the jump button at the same time that you land, you'll get some serious height. So don't even think about touching the A button when you're crossing through this part with the spikes. Then you'll encounter a bunch of these muddy ass pits that these robotic fish usually pop out of when you get close to them. So approach the edge of each one with caution and blast them away if they come out. Shoot these platforms to open them up and make them walkable, and use the springs to bounce your way over these mud pits. Just make sure that you take out the flying fish first, and be sure to time your jump with the spring correctly, because if you're off by a little bit, you'll get a regular small bounce and fall down to your doom. One way to make sure that you get it right is to press down on the jump button and hold it prior to landing, and you'll just keep the bounce sustained. So now on to the gayest robot master of all time, at least up to this point, Plant Man. If you thought getting killed by snowflakes was lame, flowers will do you in here. His attacks are very basic. He summons his plant barrier, jumps around, and launches it at you. Slide under his jump, keep as much distance as possible, and send the Blizzard Attack at him. Before long, he's dead, and the plant barrier is yours. The plant barrier is yet another shield weapon, as if that novelty hasn't worn its welcome by now. The thing that sucks about these shields so much is that it's a trial and error process to see what the damn thing works against at the cost of your health. Not to mention that it uses up a good chunk of weapon energy, and Mega Man just doesn't look very good in pink. You'll also get the Rush Jet adapter, so you can go back to Centaur Man and fly up to the upper gate to get the Beat T part. Now on to Tomahawk Man. Early on, you'll find this tank of hard hats. They'll never run out, so you can just keep blasting them and getting power-ups. Otherwise, shoot the tank just under the glass. Charge up your Mega Buster in this narrow tunnel to take out these spiked carts, or you won't have enough time to get through without taking a hit. Soon after, you'll see this ladder above, and you have a couple of options. Go straight ahead to take the quick easy route, or take the jet up the ladder where you'll jet over these spikes onto these moving platforms and get an E-Tank, and a couple of other goodies at the end of the split. Then you'll run into another fork in the road. If you take the top half, you'll enter a room where you may notice this boulder you can break with the power adapter, either by standing right at the edge or by hanging on the very end of the ladder. When you get in, Proto Man will show up and leave you a device that'll automatically fill up your weapon with the lowest amount of energy anytime you grab a weapon capsule. It can be very useful, but if you continue to take this route, you won't be able to get the parts for Beat, so you can go back and take the jet under here to keep you above the bottomless pit. Right before the gate is this platform with spikes underneath. If you jump on it, it'll flip over, so just take the jet clean across it and grab the energy capsule if you need to before the battle with Tomahawk Man. His two attacks are the Silver Tomahawk, which travels long distance at an upward swing, and the Shot of 3 Feathers, which travels slowly in a straight line. Slide under the feathers and try to jump over the Tomahawk, which is a lot easier to do when you're closer to him. You'll need to be close to use the plant barrier on him, which is his weakness. Once he's finished, you'll take the Silver Tomahawk, which is probably the best weapon in the game. It's a spinning tomahawk that's very powerful. Unfortunately, the aiming is a bit quirky because of the upward arc pattern it travels in. Once you get used to it, it's pretty handy. Just don't get too trigger happy with it. You'll run the weapon energy down sooner than you might think. Last but not least would be Yamato Man. Early on, there's a camouflage blockade that you can blast away with the power adapter, and it basically leads to a shortcut. You'll meet up with a mini-boss that you won't see at any other point in the game. This frog thing that shoots lasers and a Japanese robot on his back chucking bombs. Stay between the bombs and slide under the laser. It's not that hard. If you took the other route, you'll get a longer path, but there's also an extra life along the way. On the other hand, there's also an E-tank on the shortcut, so take your pick. Once you get back on the normal track, there'll be another split. You'll need the jet to take the top route, which will lead you to the Yamato Man battle that'll award you with Beat's E part. If you take the low road, you'll have to contend with some of these flying fish and ceiling climbers that spit bullets. And either way you take, you'll have to battle Yamato Man's cousin that fires spinning spears. Jump over them and fire quickly before the spinning starts back up again, because you can't fire through them. Yamato Man's pretty fast. He'll leap all about and spin his spear around, firing spearheads at you. Either 3 of them descending in different directions, or one of them straight ahead that will actually stick to the ground by the wall and do damage to you if you walk into it. Use the Silver Tomahawk. The closer you are to him, the more accurate you'll probably be because of the pattern of your shot, but be ready to move if you do this. Keeping your distance is a good idea as long as you don't fire off too late or you'll miss him. Once you take him down, the Yamato spear is yours, even though you're really firing off a spearhead and not an actual full spear. They travel fast and you can fire them rapidly, but they do use up a bar of weapon energy each shot, which may not sound like much, but this is a weapon you'll find yourself shooting repeatedly, so it won't last you forever. So like I said earlier, this order wasn't the most efficient for acquiring Beat. If you want to get him quicker, start at either Windman or Flame Man, whichever one you find easier to beat with the Mega Buster. I personally think Windman is easier. And then just follow the loop back to Nightman after defeating Yamato Man. So now that all the Robot Masters are destroyed, you can advance to the castle stages and put a stop to Mr. X. Early on, you'll meet up with these guys again. You can't reach them with the Mega Buster, but you can use the Silver Tomahawk to take them out. Or my recommendation is to use the jet to get even with him. It's slower, but it'll save you a Tomahawk weapon. Just be careful not to sail up too high and hit the spikes. At this point, you can take a big shortcut that's well worth it. First, jump on this platform to make it flip to the other side, and use the jet to keep yourself afloat back to where you started. Then equip the power adapter, charge it up, jump carefully, and blast the wall. After a short corridor with some crickets and weapon capsules, you'll blast this block at the end to get 4 extra lives. Holy shit. And right after that, you're at the boss. So taking this route is not only beneficial because it's much shorter, but you get a big increase in your life total. If you take the normal route, you'll battle some more of these guys along with some other basic enemies you've seen throughout the game. Not very difficult or anything, but a lot less rewarding than the shortcut, although there is an E-tank hidden in this block. The boss has 2 machines that follow the trail on the wall. They drop shit straight down and are pretty fast too. The only way to hurt them is taking out the sides of each. The Flame Blast and Silver Tomahawk do some pretty good damage. I personally recommend using flames. The second stage is one of the only Mega Man stages I can think of that stays in one straight path the whole time. These yellowish grid backgrounds that you'll see in the floors indicate where there's a drop. In some spots you'll be able to grab some power-ups, and in others you could get stuck or fall into spikes, so exercise caution when you see these. Also, you don't want to be pussyfooting over here because these bullet-shaped things will drop once you make contact with them. This level is really short and pretty easy, just a bunch of hard hats and skullmobiles and various minor enemies that aren't much trouble to get rid of. The boss scales up and down the wall firing off 2 or 3 projectiles at a time, while stones rapidly fall from the ceiling. So you have to jump between the projectiles while keeping your vertical position away from the falling boulders, not to mention the fact that you usually can't reach this fucking thing, unless you use the Silver Tomahawk. Stand as far to the left as you possibly can and don't even look at the boulders. They can't hurt you no matter how close you are. Pay attention only to the projectiles that come your way and try to jump between them. Then fire off your tomahawks. It won't do a shitload of damage, but it works. As long as you're not careless in avoiding the projectiles or reckless in your attacks, you should be able to take them out without a problem.